So for this first assignment, we're going to go into Microsoft Word. We're going to choose a blank document. The first thing we're going to do is put a heading on our document. Just as a review, align right, name, date, class, title, center it, underline, bold, body interview questions. For this first assignment, you all are going to be compiling a list of questions. You will then be taking this list of questions over to your buddy, and you will be asking them these questions. You'll be recording their responses, and after you record their responses, you then will be writing a paper. Now this paper is very important because this paper is put in their portfolio, but it is also sent home for their parents to read. Not your parents, their parents. So you are having somebody else read your writing. So this is very, very important. So when you go to an interview, it's important that you have a list of questions that you know that you're going to ask. And we're going to categorize these questions by paragraphs so that your writing is nice and neat by paragraphs. So the first paragraph is going to be just on background information. And you're going to come up with 3 questions that would fit into background information. Now, some of these things you'll know, like what is their name? Well, hopefully you know what their name is, okay? But you might know, gotta take off the bold. Does your parents, do your parents have a nickname for you, and what is it? Good question. Might be, when is your birthday? How old are you? Maybe, what is your favorite color? What is your favorite food? So I'm going to compile a list of questions that fit into this background information. Okay. I'm all done with this section. I want to get that bullet point to go away. I'm going to hit return again. That takes it away. Just hit return twice and it goes away. I'm then going to put my bold back on and I'm going to do my next category. My next category is family information. Take away my bold, get my bullet point on there. Family information. I might write, what are your mom and dad's names? Okay. I might write, do you have any brothers or sisters? Now, if I write, do you have any brothers or sisters, and I leave it at that, what are they going to say? They're going to say yes or no. So if I went up to you and said, do you have any brothers or sisters? And you say, yes. And then I just leave it at that. When I go to write my paragraph, am I going to have a lot of information there? No. So I got to ask a follow-up question. I don't want any yes or no questions without a follow-up question. follow-up question to this would be, what would the follow-up question to this be? Yeah.
What are their names? How
Good.
old are they?
Perfect. Those are your follow-up questions. Okay. Don't ask for specific addresses. You don't need that, but maybe what city do they live in? Do you have any pets? What would my follow-up question be? Because if I say, do you have any pets, and they say yes, again, same thing, I don't have much to write on. Yeah.
What type of pet are they?
Okay.
And what are their names?
Okay, so what type? Names? You could ask how old. You could ask all those questions. How many? All those are follow-up questions. Okay. Next one. School information. Now, some of this school information you might not need to ask. For example, what school do you go to? You know that answer. Do you have to write that question down? No, you know that. Who is your teacher? Do you know that answer for them?
Yes.
Yes, do you need to write that down?
No.
You already know it. What grade are you in? Do you know that answer?
Yes.
Yes, do you have to write that one down?
No.
So what type of questions are we going to ask here about school? If we already know what grade they're in, what school they go to, and what's their teacher, what type of questions might we ask? Yeah.
What is your favorite subject?
Awesome. We're going to keep this positive. So we're not going to say what is your least favorite subject. We're not going to name it that way. So what is your favorite subject? What would be the follow-up question for that? Yeah.
Why?
Good. Why? Why do you like that subject? Instead of saying what is your least favorite subject, how else could you word that so you're not saying least favorite? How else, and what, we don't want to say what subject do you not like. How else could you word it so it's kind of along the same lines? Yeah.
What subject do you not enjoy?
No, that's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
What subject is it?
No?
What subject do you not like the best?
No. We're not going to do that. How about this, though? What subject do you find the most difficult? Might that work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to stay away from what don't you like. You could say what is most difficult, or what do you have to study the most? What is the hardest for you? That's fine. Okay. All right. What else could you do in here? What's your favorite field trip? What do you like to eat for school lunch? Do you go to after school care or take the bus home or go cars? What do you like to do at recess time? What is your favorite specialist area? Those would all be examples of good questions. Okay? Next. Activities, sports, hobbies. This is where you're going to ask, do you play any sports? What's your favorite sport? Do you play a musical instrument? If you don't, what would you like to play in the future? Do you belong to any clubs? Running club, chess club, ski club? Do you belong? What do you like to do after school in your free time? And you're going to write those down. So you're going to have 4 sections. You must use these titles: background information, family information, school information, activities, sports, hobbies. The questions that you list after that are up to you. Now, you're going to need to write 5-sentence paragraphs for each one of these areas. At least 5 sentences. So if you ask them, do you have any brothers or sisters? And they say, no. And you say, do you have any pets? And they say, no. You're going to need a lot more questions because you don't have a whole lot of follow-up questions there, do you? You're going to have a whole list of backup questions that you can ask if they say, no, I don't have any brothers or sisters, or no, I don't have any pets. You're going to need more things in there. Maybe you write a question about what's your favorite family activity you do together. Maybe write what's your favorite family vacation you've been on. Maybe you ask, what does your family like to do together? You're going to have a whole bunch of questions. You need a minimum of 15 questions on your piece. Now that is a bare minimum. You are barely going to get 5 sentences out of that. So I would suggest doing a lot more than that. But you need at least 15. If you are asking a yes-no question, you must have a follow-up to that yes-no question. Do not leave it just yes-no. So, do you have any brothers or sisters? You're expecting a yes or no answer to that, aren't you? You need this follow-up question or something like it. No yes-no questions that do not have follow-ups. 2 more quick rules. Number 1, you're not in this paper. You are not in this paper. So you cannot have a question saying, I play basketball. Do you like basketball? No, you're not in this paper. You're not going to write, my favorite school lunch is pizza. Do you like pizza? No, you're not in this paper. Your question is favorite school lunch. We're really trying to get away from yes-no answers. Second rule, you may not ask any questions about their friends. I do not want their friends in this at all as far as specific names. Now, if you want to say, what do you like to do after school? And they say, I like to play with my friends, fine. But I do not want, who are your best friends? Nope, we're not listing student names in this.